what's going to produce the real change, is taking the tiniest little insight, the kind of insight that you could have right now if you just actually are truthful with yourself. Doesn't have to be this sort of, psychedelic, mind-blowing kind of thing. It could just be really, really simple and small if you just tell the truth right now. And one really powerful way to do that for yourself is just acknowledge something that you truly want. It doesn't have to be the be all end all of all things that you want. It's just something that you want. What's something that you want? Like something that you want enough that you'd be willing to actually do something, that you'd actually be willing to make some kind of change in your life for it. Have you got something in mind? Okay. So now just for a moment, and if it's easier for you to do with eyes closed, you might close your eyes and just imagine what it might be like to actually fulfill that desire. And if you can do it, imagine actually seeing yourself like as if you were watching a movie of yourself having achieved that desire, and notice that version of yourself. Notice what's different about that version of yourself. That version of yourself has learned some lessons, has discovered some important things. That version of yourself is connected with some inner resources. And that's why that version of yourself has achieved that. Now, that's the version of yourself that you want to become, because that's the only way that you can achieve what you want to achieve. So now you have an insight. Now you know exactly what is necessary for you to be able to achieve what you want. So that insight by itself, is that going to get you there? Right? If you have the insight, now let's say we call it a day, wrap up the meeting. Does that insight change anything for you? Just by itself? Doesn't do anything really. And by the way, by tomorrow you'd have forgotten, right? If it's just an insight, you might you might say, "Oh, I'd never forget this. It's so important." It's like the last psychedelic trip you had, and you're like, "Oh, this is amazing. I'll never forget. This is life changing." And then a week later, you totally forgot. So this little insight, you could easily forget it by tomorrow, if not by later today. By dinner it will be gone because life will have intervened. Your spouse, your children, your neighbor, your boss, whoever, something's gonna happen, and then you'll forget. See, insight by itself doesn't change anything. But when you couple that insight with something that you do consistently day by day, you can get there. So now you know where you want to get to. You have a destination. That destination is something within you. It's that knowledge, the inner resources, it's that inner change that will allow you to have whatever it is that you want. by the way, between you and me. This is the real magic. See, we think we want the thing, but we don't actually want the thing. We want the change that's necessary in order to have the thing. I mean, the thing is nice too, but if you just had $1 million or the adoring spouse or you're on vacation or whatever the thing is you think you want, tell the truth. It wouldn't really do it for you. It might be nice, but the thing itself couldn't really give you the real fulfillment that you're looking for. So I'm not trying to dissuade you from the thing because the thing is a useful vehicle, but I'm just making the point that it's actually the transformation that's required in order to have the thing that we really want. That's the real goal, is that transformation. And so sometimes people get hung up because they say, well, I don't know if I could really achieve the thing. Maybe it's out of reach for me. The amazing thing is it doesn't matter. Because if you're willing to do what's needed in order to move in that direction, you will absolutely, without any doubt, make the inner transformation, whether you achieve the outer thing or not. If you make the inner transformation, that will give you what you really want. But in order to make that inner transformation, you have to be willing to make the change. You have to be willing to take those steps.